All right, guys. I missed a week last week. I was working on some podcast stuff, and then I got sidetracked with watching the games over the weekend. But I'm back at it now, and I gotta say, I'm on Devil's Details number 20, almost done, second to the last rule. And when I started these, I wondered if I'd have anything to talk about once I was done with the rules, and I think I have. It's trying to figure out what topic I want to cover next with you guys, because through this, very organically, I've had a lot of really good topics come up that I've kind of shelved until a later time. So I'm eager to get to those. This is I find this useful. I hope you guys do. I think it's a lot of fun. Devil's Details 20. Weaponizing time caps. I feel like this is very good timing. Just last weekend, we did the workout Chad in class, 1,000 step-ups for time, same workout they did at the games. And Shira had a little bit of a problem with my 60-minute time cap. One of the things I like about Shira is if she disagrees with me, she's not afraid to tell me that. And so we were discussing the 60-minute time cap. And guys, let me digress here real quick as I get into this. I have certain mantras that are, I think, becoming familiar. One is consistency. Working out regularly, avoiding the breaks, avoiding the long extended breaks. I was just talking to Kelly this morning about how much time it takes to come back from those long breaks. If you take 6 months off for whatever reason, whatever the reason is, I take 6 months off. Does it take 3 months to get back what you lost in the 6 months? Does it take 6 months to get back what you lost in the 6 months? I would argue it probably takes 9 to 12 months to get back what you lost in that 6 months. Let's say you take a year off. Does it take a year to get you back to where you were? I would argue it potentially takes longer. And I say that because I want to scare you guys a little bit with how important it is, even if it's just twice a week for a while, even if it's just maintenance phase, to do everything you can to avoid long breaks from resistance training, from high intensity training. To do everything you can, even if it's not as regularly as you'd want it to be, even if it's somewhat limited in various ways, training the body in that way is so essential, and the benefits are so profound when you can just stay consistent with it. So I digress there a little bit. But another theme you guys know I talk about all the time, bang the drum of, is intensity. That is the secret sauce of what makes the way we work out, the CrossFit methodology, so effective, is that we do work in as little time as possible. And that is the formula for power. The formula for power is resistance times distance. So how much weight I had and how far I moved it. So I moved on bench press 2 feet, and I did that 100 times. So I moved it 200 feet, divided by time. So whatever the work was that I got done, how long did it take me? And the faster it takes me, the more that was my power output. And as you guys know, if we do a workout, if we did the Fran by fives we did a week ago, and I did that in 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and then 2 years later, I did that same workout in 6 minutes and 30 seconds, that is how we define fitness. I have a higher work capacity. I have a higher power output. This body I have got that same amount of work done in less time. And I can tell you when I did it the first time, I was not slacking. I was trying to go as hard as I can. And so when I say that, when I weaponize time caps, there's 2 reasons to use time caps. One is I just want you to get the work done. There's a volume of work, and I kind of want to make sure everybody gets it done. That is the minority of the time. That is not as frequent as the way I use it the rest of the time. But like this yesterday, Sunday's workout, I put a pretty generous time cap on that workout that I thought most people would be able to finish in the time cap, and most people did. The other way I use time caps is to drive intensity, is to make you have to push to potentially get in and get the workout done in that time frame. Because when I hear the phrase, and I've said it, guilty, but when I've heard the phrase, the work will eventually get done, there's nothing noble about that, in my opinion. That's not anything to brag about. Great, that's better than the work not getting done. But that's like base level of expectations. It's how quickly did the work get done, and did you get it done, frankly, whatever the work is, in a respectable time frame? Let me give you a couple more examples to drill this point home. And I think this is poignant. We just watched the games, but there was the workout Firestorm, which we will be doing in our future. I love this workout. 3 rounds for time. Girls had to bike 11 calories, guys had to bike 15 calories, and then everybody was doing 11 burpees over the roadblocks, which conveniently we have. And I saw that and I was like, great, we can do this exact workout just the way the games athletes did. Now they were getting it done in sub 3 minutes, which is pretty crazy. I'm saying a respectable time for us is 5 minutes, but that is Firestorm, aptly named. That is a light your hair on fire drag race kind of a workout. How quickly can I do a half mile? Can I stay ahead of the fatigue and just go? That is one kind of intensity. The other kind of intensity is how we did Chad. Going back to Shira's question to me, I put a 60-minute time cap on that. It is doable in 60 minutes. Because this old guy did it in 60 minutes. But it was not easy to do in 60 minutes. And what I loved about that workout, that was one of those workouts. When I programmed Chad, I knew if I'm asking you guys to do this, I have to do it. There's those workouts I think might be especially miserable in any number of ways. And I'm like, if I'm asking them to do it, I better be darn sure that I do it myself. And this was one of those. And I wanted to see if I could. I didn't know if I could do it. I haven't done anything like that in a long time. And I did the math on the kind of pace you need to keep up. I was like, I think this can do that. I was nervous about my knees holding up. And I think one of the things about Chad was 200 steps in, you were already kind of miserable. And it was a mind fuck because you're like, I'm only 200 steps in. I got 800 steps to go and I already don't feel that great. What I discovered as I went through that workout, and that's exactly what happened to me. My knees weren't feeling great, but they weren't terrible. I was happy with that, but I was tired. And I'm like, I've got a long way to go. It just kind of stays there. It moves up to that level. And for me, it just kind of stayed there. It actually got worse. I was working out with Janelle and John is the group I was in. And we took a couple of short breaks. I don't think we break till we got to 500. But I realized breaks were not my friend on that workout. Because when we'd start again after a short break, the first 10 steps, I would have trouble keeping up with them. And then I'd kind of get in rhythm again and I was going. But when I'd stop and get a drink, I was shaky and I knew I just need to get this work done. I will rest once the work gets done. It's not really going to get better until the work is finished. And I was happy with our time on that, but that was when I saw that with people. It's 200 steps in, it started to screw with your brain because you're like, oh my God, I've got a long way to go and I'm already tired. That was a great challenge. And that's why I put a time cap like that on it, because if you have all day to do, Chad, if you just have all day, it's cool that you did 1,000 step-ups that day. That's an active day, but that wasn't, at a certain point, it's not even a workout anymore. It's just an active day, which is great, but I want this to be a workout that drives intensity for an hour. And an hour's intensity is like the Indy 500. It's a different kind of intensity than the drag race, but it's still, Indy 500, they're going as fast as they can for 500 miles. I was going as fast as I can for about an hour on those step-ups, and that is another kind of intensity. That is actually really hard to maintain because you can't just be done in 3 minutes. You have to hold a certain high level pace for a long time. Let me give another example. Let's say I was going to have us do 10 100-meter sprints. 10 100-meter sprints. And I said you have to do one every 2.5 minutes. What if you walked each 100 meters? You could get that done easily in the 2.5 minutes as a walk, 100 meters, and have time to rest and do it again. If person A walks all 10 100 meters and person B sprints them all at their max capacity, they both got the same distance done. They both traveled 1,000 meters, 10 times 100. Did they both have an equally effective workout? I don't think any of us would say that. The person that walked 100 meters every time probably didn't even get more fit. That's just a walking around. That's a walk that day. The person that did 10 100-meter sprints at max capacity definitely got more fit. Their hamstrings are going to be sore. Their abs are going to be sore. They're going to be very tired. Two different things. Why? Because of the time frame they got it done in. Because this person's power output was way up here, and this person's power output, you can't even see it, was non-existent. It was way down here. And so that's the point of when I weaponize time caps. I'm trying to drive home the point this work can get done in a certain amount of time, And you need to try and get it done in that time frame. And if you can't, all of us are going to get time capped. It's going to happen to all of us. But it should be a motivating factor. Not tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to do Karen. Karen is 150 wall balls for time. We're actually going to do this in 2 heats where we count for each other. 150 wall balls. If I decided I'm going to do 10 each minute for 15 minutes, I got the work done in 15 minutes. Not easy, but not terribly hard. A lot of us could do that. If I said I'm going to get it done 30 wall balls each minute and have it done in 5 minutes, that's a scary workout. That makes me nervous thinking of trying to do that. That would be really hard. And that is, again, because the power output was that much greater. There's a famous quote I've thought of from Carl Jung that comes to mind now and it's come time for. That which you most want will be where you least want to look. And what I mean by that is that is intensity. It is, you guys know that I've been scared of heights, and so I've sought out things to do that were heights oriented, that I get afraid when I'm out in open water, and so I seek that out occasionally too, to be out in open water, because I just think it makes you a better person. Facing the things you don't want to look at makes you stronger mentally, makes you stronger physically, just gives you more fortitude, more resolve. And I say that on your fitness journey, it is looking into that dark hole that you don't want to look in. That's where you're going to find the goal you find so tantalizing. If I want to get a better engine, it's down in that hole. The engine is in that hole of doing 500-meter rows faster than I want to in a workout. It's doing burpees at a faster pace than I'm used to doing them, knowing it's going to hurt. If I'm looking for a leaner physique, it's down in that hole. It's down in that intensity hole of doing touch and go on barbell work more than I want to, doing bigger sets on kettlebell swings than I want to. It is on that journey down there. And if it's overall just getting tougher mentally and getting a better long-term engine, it's doing Chad in 60 minutes. It's realizing that if I just keep the pace up when I don't want to, I don't even have to go that fast. I just have to keep going. I can get it done in 60 minutes. It's a reasonable time expectation, but I'm going to have to push harder than I probably wanted to. All right, guys, I think that is it for weaponized time caps. Give me your thoughts on this. I will save as a surprise what the last rule is, and I will try to get to that next week. Right on. I'll talk to you later.